As a table now, we find ourselves in a role that is, we're not a programs table. We're not issuing programs. We have phenomenal partners doing phenomenal things. We're really a group that helps connect dots. How do we help the conversation along, just as I would or others would do when they're running an organization? Because if the right conversations are being had at the right places at the right time, really smart people do really smart things. And so one of our major roles is making sure that these groups are actually talking to one another, that there are no silos, that there are opportunities to get smarter. And it's not easy, because that means some organizations actually have to change. Some organizations might even disappear, because there are better and smarter ways. So funders do have a role to help affect that change, because sometimes they need a push over the edge. But nonetheless, we're at least having the right conversations. One of our major roles is to make sure that we have at a strategic level. Most organizations find themselves, I mean all of our organizations, we get into the detail. Someone needs to be pulling back once in a while and saying, are the details connecting? Are we doing the right thing from the broadest context? And we have some phenomenal examples in this city about how collaboration has changed the conversation. And one, I'm not sure if it'll be spoken about the hostels to homes this week or not. Will it be spoken to? Okay, well, I'll let him talk about it then, because he led it. But ask him about hostels to homes, and you'll see how a collaboration through a change in conversation changed to a much better and a very different outcome. The other thing that we are doing as an organization is this continuing with this KUBA, the knowing, the understanding, the believing, and acting. Because knowing, one of the first things we measured by getting the information out through the newspaper and through a lot of meetings was how many new conversations were there being had just on poverty alone. Then we moved to understanding, which was starting to introduce the science, the understanding of who actually was poor and what we can actually do about it, and how it actually can be called investment as opposed to cost all the time. That was beginning to understand. But the belief part has always been the hardest, and it's still the hardest. Because the belief part is like waking up on January 1st and saying, I understand I should exercise, I understand why I should, but what's going to make me do it? For me, it was a good friend who passed away at the age of 50 of a heart attack. And my kids said to me, Dad, we don't want that to be you, so exercise. So now I'm exercising. That's my belief part. In Hamilton, we're trying to make it, Hamilton, best place to raise a child. If we make it for our children, then maybe we'll get enough people to believe that we have to make a change, because it is disgusting. And then from there we can move to act. So our whole process now, and it continues, and it's hard, as Brian said, it is very, very hard, because keeping the momentum on something that we know is multi-year, we're amazed how fast 5 years have gone, and of course from an entrepreneur, I am so disappointed we haven't solved poverty yet. A whole 5 years and it's not been done. So we do know that we have made significant change, and some of the significant change is first and foremost attitudinal. We got people to the point that they're actually believing that it should be fixed. But we're also having more and more people believe that it can be. Because quite frankly, it can be. And not doing it, as we understand the information that's out there, whether it's not investing in early years, or not investing in our children, not having individuals graduate, or having folks who are really, really poor, like way below LICO, and their health outcomes, we all know that that's just simply not the way a Western country like Canada should act. So that belief, and where we're getting a lot of uptake now, and where we're actually spending a lot of our time, is with our children. High school kids, university kids. Those are the ones that we see a huge impact in terms of their belief that this is what we should be doing, and the evidence supports it.